Right? I don't really want to make this video, but it's kind of humorous. It be said in Revelations that you'll have to make a choice. It's not really a choice that you have to make. You know, the people that left with Moses weren't exactly happy when he dragged them out into Sinai, and they didn't have anything, and they had a lot probably back in Egypt. Probably a lot of cool stuff back in Egypt, even though they were spiritual bondage and a burning bush. They might have had a weird life. They might have been going through into Babylon and experiencing things. And the video I'm making is this choice in Revelations that you come by, and it says you have a choice to make. You'll have a choice between something I kind of refer to as the beast, or as the beast, the Ra child, the Beth of the East, home of the East. It'll affect the entire world. It affects the sun. It could affect a lot of stars in between there as well. And it's related star is the sun. Sun is a star, excuse me. And the people who's the Pharaoh, basically, you'll have a choice between kind of like Moses and the Pharaoh, but like you see lots of different scenarios of this. You have a choice between, say, like Herod and all the other kings, Judean kings, and like this hippie John the Baptist, who's like, trying to build momentum by going out and making people witness his potential for healing and turning people golden, and people that like him and trust him and things. He's trying to build momentum. So yeah, you have a choice between the two, and I thought I'll just let you know all about it. With them, you're gonna have burning bush. You're gonna have people like tormented mothers and kids in gangs and psychic gangs, and they all think it's the greatest thing ever. You're gonna have politicians drunk on the wine from fornicating with the wife of the Lamb. They're all going to be mixed up in Babylon. They've got loads of potential for this, for absolute knowledge. Your confessions aren't safe with them. Your confessions would be safe with the Lord, because he'd be a Krishna of this kind, this hippie guy who wouldn't judge you or criticize you. But you're not safe with them. And you have Pinkerton police forces. You have them cracking down on everybody. You have a lot of people, like, probably saying drugs that are all getting completely busted and honed in upon, probably all over the place in Los Angeles. And the ironic thing is the people doing this are drug dealers and smugglers as well. It is so terrible, it's just unbelievable. But basically when I hit the scene, there was the police force was surrounded by a rose world of like orgiastic occultists, and they weren't great people. And then a Sinn Féin mafia got mixed up with me, and then there's psychopaths from Miami and billionaire tycoons. So they kind of intercepted and swarmed my police, the Gardaí Síochána very quickly, and like directed them and gave them an education. So that's got pretty messed up and scary now. We've got a complete runaway government and runaway military and police force and things like this, because they're all messed up in this Babylon. I'm not really getting down to the choice of the matter, sorry. Choice of the matter is kind of similar. Like you see John the Baptist, and he's concerned for this kind of kid that he kind of knows or related. He knew Herodotus, and Herodotus was kind of like didn't mind her kid being raised in Egypt in slavery and in spiritual bondage, and she was going to be a little pop star or something, and that's her name, Shalom, which is strange, Shalom. But people might feel safer or abundant or financially secure, or have a modelling contract, or think they're part of something deadly and awesome. So you have to be having lots of augmented reality. You've already seen them kind of brush this off the Irish community. You can have these med relationships with your ex-girlfriends and pop stars who are all on the pop list. Or my friends and family of the Tabernacle, more so, specifically what they're originally and where it came from is this exploit of turning my wedding chamber, and it's the wedding chamber of the New Jerusalem, and the preservation of the 8th day, preserving the word. And you're supposed to preserve it. And I did have my bride of tomorrow, so I saw her. It was white and linen, and it's beautiful, sparkly and amazing, and then admire and wonderful. And it's torn to pieces many times over. Absolutely torn, so many of these women to parts. I'm not getting down to the choice about it. The hippie kid kind of doesn't have much to offer you, as it apparently is, it would seem, compared to all the delicacies and things and experiences and fantasies and souls of men and all these things that they're going to be Babylonian and trading in. And there wasn't like and I to get light on this, throw over any government very easily and have a very unique and powerful political force in any country, and I'd know all your corruption or sins. I could screw you in any sort of way. You really get, there are a bunch of gypsies really doing this. There's not a lot of them. Jimmy Carr's in trouble for saying gypsies. I just want to say I say that word a lot because I study that word a lot. It means Egyptian, and it's nothing to do with being from Egypt either. I'm not putting anything on any Egyptian citizens or people from Egypt. It just means you're practicing functionalism of some sort of sacred cloth, or you're using some sort of things. Like you're using tarot cards, maybe that's kind of sacred in form, and you might be using things in a gypsies kind of way, a functionalist kind of way, and so there's gypsyhood is pertaining a lot to Babylon when this happens, when you get screwed over and ripped, and there's a lot of gypsyhood, and they're the most powerful people in the world, and this is what you see in Revelations, the choice between the beast, the rat kid, the child. It's a cool little bull that got stolen from his mama and put down a well or something like this, and it was Derek Rockefeller, if you want to know who it was. He was born, I think, Daniel. He didn't deserve the name Daniel. He got christened once or twice. He took a lot of bread. I think he might have had a bar mitzvah as well. He was everything, this American kind of everything culture. And he wasn't an antichrist. He wasn't actually an antichrist. He was just a dope. And if anything, if I'm supposed to be a Creation Lord, he wasn't anti-me. He wanted to be me in every way. He wanted my name, my mind, my ori. See, Derek changed his name to Damien, and he was fanatic about being Damien or being the Antichrist, ironically. But he didn't see. I'm not really a devil or something like that, but I'm somewhat connected to that kind of thing. And he wanted to be me. He wanted to be my mind. He wanted my family, my mind, my wife, my children, my history, my memory. I even tried to teach the asshole for years. I'm pretty sure he's got a bullet in the back of the head there last year. Family issues. He murdered some of his own family. He did terrible things. I don't know. He's dead anyway, but there's still a lot of people in his family and staff and businesses still using his name and the name of other people. And you're not really against them. You're against this, like I said, this multi-headed dragon, this multi-headed beast that it's not exactly dragon, it's pertaining to Satanism, and I got rid of that. So it is still like this monster though. They might have asked you to confess to them. That might have been a way they got you. I'm not sure how they got you to confide lordship onto them through me, or forgetting in me in some sort of way. This burning bush, I'm pretty sure, has been put all over the world, throughout Europe and throughout everywhere. I think Chimeria has a lot to do with it. There's something torn up about it. I think not my situation, but something like this happened in Syria as well with some kid or some other person, because the way Syria just got divided up and ripped apart and absolutely swallowed and consumed up. It seems very Armageddon-like and very Babylonian, and I imagine it was some sort of Babylonian temple that got usurped, or some sort of star. Like I said, just fanaticism regarding it, because I think we're just as popular as heater bees, just one or few or many. You might get down to the very last one in the entire world and think, this is your last heater bee. But there'll be plenty of worker bees around for a while afterwards, still working, but I don't know what destroys the heater bee. But yeah, I get fascinated anyway about it and torn apart, and I'm pretty sure it happened. There's just so much possible war stuff and going on from I don't know, maybe not knowing who I am, and I don't really want to be known either. I don't want to be popular, but what do I have to say about this choice? You're going to choose between them and a lot of stuff that your kids and pop stars and everything are doing these days, and they're having a lot of fun and they're playing through, and there's an analogy of candy in this. They're eating lots of candy. Your candy is now your bread. It's not just bread of life. It's here's the stuff in your face with candy. Like I put in the video for birth of perdition, or really like the impregnation of perdition, is when these people take over a temple, and you see this with your Lord, your Creation Lord. You want your Lord Creation in the very least, kind of celibate and non-sexual, because it opens up so much Yesodian weightage. I think the moon is ringing a bell. The moon's ringing a bell, but I don't know, was celibate and very Krishna. Wartime jihad is very hard to remain Taoist and peaceful with the world. I'm very angry. Very angry and very despairing. So I'd be not really offering you stuff. I'd be like, it wouldn't be like that. It'd be like sealing up Jumanji or something like that. You know, I can't offer you great things. I had a holy fortune, a massive holy fortune in quadrillions or something. It's like everything. I'm a made man. I'm like a Don made man, and it was a massive holy fortune. They all conspired and took it, and they were all very popular, handing it out to everybody and giving it away as much and getting everybody involved. So by the time it became realised there was too many wealthy and powerful people involved to be a massive scandal, and this whole thing about the scandalous reason why it won't flip or won't turn. And it's so silly because it's going to drag you all into perdition as well. The fact that they won't not even cough up, but fix the situation, it'll go and drag you all into. You're in year 8 out of 14. There's 7 years of reaping and 7 years of sowing. And you're in year 8, you're past the halfway point, and you haven't got time for pride or money or to think about anything. You need some silly, weird office of Potiphar, and you realise things, and this office will prosper amazingly. You'll make the office my world, and you'll realise this is the best thing ever, and you'll say, long live this condition, and you'll ask me to have kids. I'm not sure about that. But, yeah, I don't want to be fascinated or actually under Lord Light, but it's just for the fact that I think it is just more like heater be sophisticatedly speaking. I had a grant beforehand. I already was doing exactly what a heater bee needed to do. I was being very fruitful at a library, I was studying, I was living very healthily, and I was trying to contribute and be social in a way. And just fascination has hunted me down and put me down a well and surrounded me. Everyone lives in my estate. Everyone. I come from a little backwater country town, and we got Bugattis driving around town. It's not a fucking stupidity or secret about it. It's just shamelessly fucking prodigious. So, we can have get secure a lot of my money. We get to see a lot of gypsies go broke. You know, a lot of gypsies might go to jail. You know, it might be pretty funny. They robbed me in billions. You rob a chocolate bar when you're a homeless person, you get prosecuted. They robbed billions. You might see a lot of that, a lot of justice coming out. And there was a lot of people dragged into it. You know, it's hard to have justices, proper justices in this situation, and you just need to get to work more so than have justices taken care of. That can come later, and that definitely will come later. But I'll have my quadrillions, and I'll be stopping suffering, absolutely, in the utmost. I'm a Catholic, but in the utmost of Protestant spirit. My favourite thing about Protestant religion is, like, people shouldn't be suffering or starving. Like, temples and stones on earth, but temples in the mind and in the people. You want happy people, so they can conceive of a happy world and happy God. That's one thing I really like about Protestantism, that is the quality of life of humanity, that one person's suffering is an entire world of suffering, and it wouldn't cost a lot for you to fix that suffering in the very least. Maybe put an end to do something good with that. I'll put an end to a lot of, incessant suicide, murder, gang violence. I've been conquested upon, under heater breeds are conquested upon. I actually heard that might be the last heater breed, so it was kind of detrimental in this way. It's Elijah. They might have conquested them all, and that's why you see social instability, because he had galactic instability. He lost the connections with the stars, and he lost connections on Earth. So everyone became very cruel and very segregative and probably very racist and stuff, and very indifferentiated when you lost all your connections. Yeah, that's the first two, and then the second two are the results of famine and death. We haven't seen much death yet. I think COVID was a peak of things to come. Like, we see those kind of things in Revelations of circles moving with circles and circles, and you ring a bell for a little bit, and COVID might have been ringing a bell. 400 years into it, they had terrible conditions in Egypt. They had boils and leper and cancerous blobs and everything on their fucking faces, and they were everyone. They were the people most responsible for it, so they were the rich people as well. So just in case you're calling someone a leper or anything, if you're responsible for this prodigious predicament and you're maintaining it, you're going to see a lot worse of it, and you won't understand. Burning bushes, man, it's just terrible, because people just keep working and trying to live and survive even when it's terrible in 1984 conditions, and they just supply the oil to keep burning, and they just will fucking keep going, man, and people will suffer into fucking 400 years of this. But it's a weird one, that it, like, investing lordship. confessed lordship unto Jesus because he was trusted. But, he was the champion of the glory. But, confession, really have to reform that in the great old spirit of all things reforming. That, like I said, you're not free to confess. And if you did have a good Christianity, Lord, then your confessions are free. You're safe, excuse me. And you can almost say them. You can say them in church, because otherwise, if you're in church and you didn't have a good Lord, you'd be hearing each other's gossip. Like, there'd be gossip and idle talk in the church, and that's what they're milking and even loving it and exploiting it, because they're just dirty, Sinn Féin, nosy, mafia and all. Gimps and rats. So your confessions would be safe with me. Like, I wouldn't give a where you've been and what you have to do. I'd be praying for you and hope you, like, get just whatever. I wouldn't mind what you're doing, where you've been and what you have to do. This misunderstood, this forgotten about in the Catholic Church and the Church about confession. And when you actually do haplessly go and make a confession to a priest, you're kind of actually unwittingly, invalidly confessing to an atheism, and you're confessing a lot of power unto a man. In the current condition, if you don't understand or appreciate that condition of the confession, then you're just giving a lot of power and confidence, godlike confidence, onto a person. God knows your name, everything you do, everything you will do before you done, before you 2 weeks or before you did it. Wants you to learn. But it's supposed to be a video, but just a basic choice. Make it very clear things to offer you. Things they will offer you. Everything they'll offer you will turn to scarlet tree, and the scarlet tree will go to every corner of the earth. All of that stolen money. It's very like Pirates of the Caribbean. I imagine myself like this immortal pirate in the future. It's like, it'll all need to be returned. Every last drop, every last cent. It would be what's best for everybody, and like a royalty and everybody. Yeah, that's probably what happens and where that shit came from, man. The Black Pearl is mine. So yeah, it was outlined explicitly. If you wanted to know where you are in tribulation, or actually who the Antichrist was, or not the Antichrist, he wasn't Antichrist, he was the biggest Christ fanboy, he was Derek Zoolander. I would have been, it's weird. Yeah, he wanted to be me in every sort of way. He wanted to copy me, make me learn from me, my creed, my mentality, my philosophies. And I even worked with the asshole, and tried my best to help him, but I'm pretty sure he's dead. Nothing to be celebrated in that whiny yokin for Gimp and his family and his staff. You're not the only gypsies in the world, like I say, dark in my head and all, but anyone really who's screwed with my wife or anything is marked by the beast. You got the mark of the beast, you got marked by my wife or my children, or you had sex with my family or something, and you're using it as an excuse to be rich, powerful and famous. Like, oh, we have this, the seal of the Lord, we have this, but you are marked by the beast, and you'll be found marked by the beast. Lamb is a beast. House of the rising sun. If you had your shit together, you just let me have a hotel down in the middle of fucking Yoba or somewhere like that where I could chill out, and you could come by and visit me and be my friend and have a drink, and just by befriending me and having a drink and going off on your way, your life would be explicitly different, and you left on a good note. You just left on a positive note. But at the moment they have you all and against me. You don't even know about it. They have you all. You're completely opposed to me. You walk down the street and you just go, anything. You don't know how opposed you are to me, or you already know my name. You already use my name. It's been in credits and it's been mentioned on radio and roulets. But you don't know me yet, and that's probably a problem. The Marxism of the whole situation. It's all very separated and unfair, and it's untrue, and there's a lot of bollocks and there's a lot of lies. They have a lot of power and persuasion under my orrery, under my name, and it's hard. It's to work against them. It's like Neo. Everyone you see turns into a Smith instantly, and they can get very controllable. They can very persuasive, or very. Need to get one of those telephones. Nebuchadnezzar. What did I just? It's a 20-minute video. So there's something of your choice that you might have to make. If you give out, you can confess the Lordship true to me. I would confess the Lordship back in true to Jesus, probably kind of thing. And launch away Jesus back to fucking everything. And it might be some lovely way way we can work it all out. But I'm just like, it's so simple. Just fucking put me in an office with a group of cool rabbis and savior people of Islam and hosting a party in the Vatican. Anyway, it's on my property anyway. I should just organise it. That's your choice. I'm never good at wrapping these things up. It's not a choice. That's what I should have said before I go. It's not a choice because it's apparent and it's obvious. It's not a choice, really. You come to the point where you have to choose, but it's just a recognition, really, of the truth. You're just saying, hey, it's his star, it's his orrery, it's his mind, it's his temple. He was trusted with like the keys of heaven and hell. Give them back to him. He was trusted. They took them off me. They did to Elijah, and it caused terrible things all over the world. It need to be trusted back, and cool chaos, always cool chaos.